Hey guys, Mel224 here with a special video as in my top 30 albums of 2012. This is going to be from numbers 30 to 21. So my honorable mentions will be in the description if you haven't seen that, so yeah. Originally I didn't set out to be doing a top 30 list. First I expected to do a top 10 list actually. Then it went on to 15, then 20, then 25, which I thought that was going to be the limit, and then 30. So 30 is going to be, this is the final list, and who knows, maybe I'm not going to be happy with my opinions, possibly tomorrow or something like that. I'm not sure. So yeah, I can't stress enough. This is my own opinion. So if you agree differently, be happy to comment. I don't care. You could comment if this sound should be higher, this sound should be lower. So yeah, at number 30 is Meshuggah with Koloss. Now, Meshuggah have been a very influential band to the progressive metal scene. Like more recently, well, people call it chant, but I call chant more of a guitar tone than a genre. But it's been influencing like the modern progressive metal scene, like Periphery, a lot of bands, especially the instrumental bands and stuff like that. And really, who knew that one band could influence these whole genre of bands? And this album basically shows, it's another reason why these bands are so influenced by it. And it's a very, very great album. It's a very, very solid, but sometimes it could get a little bit repetitive because I know they've been doing this type of music for since probably their first album came out, I think, in like 1990 something. So they've been doing this for around 20 plus years. So it kind of gets a little bit repetitive for me, so that's why. Alright, so at number 29 is Dark Tranquillity Zero Distance EP. Now this album was released back in March 5th, and this album was, this EP has, all the tracks on the EP have are bonus tracks off of the special edition off of We Are the Void, which is their latest studio album that came out in 2010. And then in this year they decided to just release it as a whole nother album. And those bonus tracks are awesome. Like it's just really awesome, those tracks. But I kind of wish it was a full-length album because I was kind of expecting an album by Dark Tranquillity to come out this year, even though they didn't really say anything about a new album. But I was really expecting for them to have a new album. But with these I'm not sure what tracks they are, I forgot. But with these I think 5-6 tracks maybe. These tracks are just awesome. If you want to hear Dark Tranquillity, if you want to hear modern Dark Tranquillity from like probably Fiction, We Are the Void, and this album, you should really definitely check this out. And at number 28 is Becoming the Archetype's I Am. Becoming the Archetype. This is their first album with a new vocalist, with a new bassist, and a new drummer. Because with their last album, Celestial Completion, they had their vocalist and bassist, Jason Wisdom, so he filled in for vocals and bass, and he left the band for personal reasons, and they got a whole entirely different vocalist and different bassist. And honestly, with this album, the new vocalist, I forgot his name, I'm sorry, but the new vocalist, he's a very, very talented vocalist, especially with the song The Skybearer. That's probably my favorite song off the album. And one of the guitarists does the clean vocals. I'm not sure what his name is. I'm sorry guys, but I'm not sure what his name is. But he did clean vocals on their last album, Celestial Completion. He's been in the band since 2010, and they only have one original member left, which is pretty sad. And I really hope to see new material in the future by them, to see what he could really do, because I'm honestly not sure if he did write on this album. So if he didn't write on this album, I would hope to see what he writes in the future. So at number 27 is The Contortionist with Intrinsic. Now this is actually my brother's album. He's more of a he's a bigger fan of The Contortionist. he was really telling me, dude, he's like, dude, you should really listen to this. This is really awesome. And he said you'll like it. And then me and him and my other brother, we saw him at Summer Slaughter in August, and he actually got a signed poster by them, the Intrinsic poster, which is in this room. I'm not gonna show it right now because I don't have it on me, but this album, it shows more kind of differences from Exoplanet, because I know in Exoplanet they have re-recorded tracks from their EPs, from their EP Apparition, like Oscillator, Eyes Closed, Now Into Flourish. But with this album, this is like really kind of the first album to see Jonathan Carpenter, to see what he could actually do, and his death bells, it really improved. It strongly improved, and this album is just great. It's not as great as Exoplanet, but it's still a damn good album. At number 26 is Abominable Putridity with the Anomalies of Artificial Origin. Now they're a great brutal death metal band. That's first I have to say. And with their last album, in the End of Human Existence, that album was more like, it was like a mediocre album. Like people really bashed on that album. They really hated it and stuff. But with this album, with their new vocalist Maddie Way, and like honestly, the whole song structures in the song are just really freaking great. It's really awesome, and they're a Russian band, so I wouldn't really expect Russia to be like having this type of metal in it. Like I wouldn't expect people from Russia being in that type of metal, but this is just awesome. Really great brutal death metal. Would really recommend it to any real death metal fan. So at number 25 is Valamire with Eclipse, and as you can see, it's actually signed by all the members. If you can't see that, I don't know if the lighting's really good, if you could actually see it. So yeah. This is my least favorite Valamire album. It's a very great album. It's a very short album. Abominable Putridity, that album's 25 minutes, and this album's actually 28 minutes. They're both released on the same date, February 28th, which is kind of odd. But still, the Valamire, this is a I got this signed back in the Summer Slaughter tour back in August, when they came here to New York, and really it was just awesome that I'll get it signed by the whole band. But this album, it kind of gets repetitive for me, because like with the albums Come and Collapse and Id, those albums are really great. Like I haven't listened to the whole thing of their first album because I can't really find it, but with this album, it's still a really great album. It's still great deathcore. People kind of call in the lines of progressive metal. It has progressive metal influences, but I wouldn't call them a straight progressive metal band because they're really extreme. But the sound kind of gets a little bit repetitive, and the songs are too short. If they had like a couple more tracks, and the tracks were like a little bit longer, because the longest track is only 4 minutes, so that's really not long. So if they had longer tracks and they had more longer and more tracks, then I'll be satisfied with this album, or maybe it'll be higher on my list. At number 24, I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, because it's not my album of the year, because a lot of people love this album. This is probably the most anticipated album of the year, and that is Testament with Dark Roots of Earth. Now, Testament, they're basically my favorite thrash metal album ever, and I mean thrash metal band ever, because they're honestly the band that really got me like to love a band this much, you know. And with this album, I was so anticipating. I'm like, yeah, like I was even before I listened to it, I'm like, yeah, this is probably gonna be my album of the year. This is gonna be real high, but this is a really consistent album. It's still a great album, but you know, with tracks Man Kills Mankind and Throne of Thorns, those songs kind of kill it for me. It would probably be at number 30, but with the songs Native Blood, Cold Embrace, that song was awesome. I was hoping for a ballad on this album, and I honestly got it. Thank God, because I love Testament's ballads like Return to Serenity, Trail of Tears. It's all awesome. And with kind of True American Hate, when I know I did a track review on it when I was probably in July, or something like that. I'm not too sure, but when I did it, I said I gave it a 10 out of 10. But this song is kind of bland for me if you think about it. And plus they have a new drummer on this, Gene Hoagland, formerly of like Strapping Young Lad. He's in Deathclaw, formerly of Fear Factory. He adds a little bit of blast beat on True American Hate and Native Blood, so that's very good. And number 23 is Arsis, Lepers Karis EP, and this album is probably the album that I last listened to. It released December 4th through Scion AV. I actually found this on Scion AV's website. It said like stream the album. I had no idea that they even released the EP until I saw one of the fellow album reviewers doing a review of Lepers Karis, so I decided to listen to it. Great technical death metal. The first two tracks are just mind-boggling. It's just really great, you know, like it's very, very great. Like these like, it's only 6 tracks I think, and it's only 19 minutes long, but still it's a great 19 minutes. But I was expecting a full-length album because they haven't released an album in 2 years, and I know they're gonna probably release an album next year. I'm hoping I could listen to it, I could pre-order it and stuff. But this is still a very, very consistent EP. The next album is also an EP, and it's Intervals with In Time. Now, Intervals are an instrumental band from Canada. I'm not sure when they formed. I think they formed either in 2010 or something. But they are really, really popular for an unsigned band. They only been around for a couple of years, I think. And with their debut EP, The Space Between, that album is just it's pretty close to a masterpiece for me. And basically, like, In Time, it's still very, very great, you know, but it's still not as great as The Space Between, in my opinion. Some people might like this album better. It's perfectly fine, but this album is just it's a very great progressive metal album, instrumental album, but it's not as great as their first album. I mean, yeah, their first EP. So I'm gonna wrap this up with number 21 with Aeon with Aeon's Black. Now this album, this band I actually discovered from sorry, that's my dog walking. I discovered from a friend of mine from Facebook. He put a link to like streaming the album, so I listened to it. That was my first the first song I heard was the first track off the album, which was Still They Pray, and that song is just awesome. This album is like modern Swedish death metal at its finest for me. It's a very great album, but there has been plenty of great albums that have came out this year. Actually 20 to be exact, well, in my opinion. But Aeon's Black, it's still a very, very great consistent album. And please check out for part 2 and part 3. They're going to be coming tomorrow and the day before that. So till the next part, keep it metal and stay tuned to another video.